Hi everyone, my name is Haley King and I'm going to be talking to you today about the professional image of a nurse. So there's a few things I wanted to discuss today, the first being the role of a nurse. So not having a good understanding of the role of a nurse can lead to misconstrued ideas of what the professional image of a nurse should look like. I also wanted to talk about the public's view on nursing as well as the media's view on nursing and how both of these things can influence people's perception of the image of a nurse. I also want to talk about nursing school's interpretation of the role of a nurse and how that can influence nursing students' idea of what nurses should be. Lastly, I want to discuss my perspective on the professional image of a nurse and how each of these things have influenced my idea of what a nurse should be. So to start, there are a lot of public misconceptions about the role of a nurse. So the ANA states that a nurse's role is the protection, promotion, and optimization of health and abilities, prevention of illness and injury, facilitation of healing, alleviation of suffering through the diagnoses and treatment of human response, and advocacy in the care of individuals, families, groups, committees, and populations. While there are many different types of nursing, I felt like this definition of the role of a nurse covered some of the most important aspects. So everyone's perspective on the professional image of a nurse varies depending on who you ask. So I thought I would ask a few of my friends and family members what they thought in order to get a good understanding of what the public image of a nurse might be. So about half the people that I asked said that when they thought of a nurse, they pictured a woman who was very caring and compassionate. The other half, however, described nurses as being mean, bossy, and always forcing them to take shots or get vaccinations. Next, I asked them what they thought a nurse's primary job was in the hospital. Most people said that nurses just followed the doctor's orders, while a few mentioned that they have heard of nurses or nurse practitioners that can practice independently but require different degrees. Everybody did seem to agree, however, that nurses seem to work long hours and always appear to be very exhausted. While I think that most of my friends and family got their opinions from prior experiences, I also think that the media has a major impact on the public's view of nursing. With medical dramas being a big genre on televisions today, many people get their views of nursing from shows like Nurse Jackie or Grey's Anatomy. Unfortunately, these images of nursing in the TV shows are generally negative. Again, nurses are portrayed as mostly female, not as well educated as other healthcare workers, and again as doctors' helpers. A few studies that have recently been published claim that these negative portrayals of nurses could even be linked to the nursing shortage. A study published in the Journal of Healthcare Management showed that many college students felt that nursing was a financially appealing career, but that it lacked job independence. Other images of nurses in media include the sultry nurse, which has become a favorite Halloween costume, as well as the old but bitter nurse. Nursing school can also play a huge role in our own understanding of what the professional image of a nurse should be. At the beginning of every semester, our instructors review the guidelines on how we should look and act during these clinical sessions. Some of these rules include having a tidy personal appearance with a nicely pressed uniform, minimal makeup, and hair neatly tied up above our shirt collars, as well as maintaining a positive and upbeat attitude throughout the clinical session. Instructors also stress that nurses must have a strong moral compass and must be capable of upholding the ANA Code of Ethics. While I do believe these things are important and maintaining a professional appearance and having high moral standards are important, I think these characteristics can be a little outdated. So after acknowledging that there are many different opinions in the professional image of a nurse that have been influenced by the media, different experiences in healthcare, and nursing committees, I think that it is important for nursing students to create their own ideas on what the professional image of a nurse should be. There are so many different types of nursing careers today, including community health nurses, acute care nurses, clinic nurses, nursing managers and educators, and even nurse practitioners. While all of these types of nurses are professional and very well educated, I believe each require different personality traits, skill sets, and professional attire. Most importantly, I think that it is important for nurses to be diligent, trustworthy, and strong advocates for their patients. Out of all the healthcare workers, nurses work the closest with patients and the community and have a duty to treat them to the best of their ability. So here are a few references from the ANA on the role of a nurse and on the article of a nursing shortage from the Journal of Healthcare Management. And thank you guys for listening.